Join PMU talks. Join PMU talks.
Okay, let's unpack this. When I first started really looking into the world of permanent makeup, I was just captivated. The artistry, the pigments, the transformations, it's
It
incredible.
really is.
But what became clear pretty quickly, and what we're really diving into today, is how absolutely foundational the tools are. Every detail matters, right?
Yeah.
Your skill, the pigments, sure. But also, critically, the instruments you use.
Absolutely.
And our deep dive today is focusing squarely on one of the most vital bits of kit, the professional PMU cartridge.
What's fascinating here, I think, is realizing that something seemingly small, like a cartridge, isn't just holding a needle.
Yeah.
It impacts, well, everything.
Everything.
Yeah, the final look, the client's comfort, their experience, even how efficiently you work as an artist.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to guide you through this sometimes complex world of PMU cartridges.
Okay.
We want to reveal what truly defines quality, how you can match them precisely to techniques, to client needs, and really hammer home why making the right choice is fundamental. For your art, yes, but also, crucially, for safety.
So for anyone maybe just getting started in PMU or even experienced artists wanting a refresh, what exactly are PMU cartridges? I mean, I've seen them, obviously, but break it down for us. What's inside? What makes them work?
Right. Okay, so at their core, PMU cartridges are basically disposable needle modules. They're engineered for really precise pigment implantation into the skin. Think of them as these tiny self-contained units.
Mm-hmm.
Each one usually has a medical-grade plastic housing. That holds everything together securely. Inside that, you've got a meticulously designed needle stabilization system that's key for accuracy. And then, critically, there's a protective membrane.
Okay, the membrane. We'll come back to that, I bet.
Oh, definitely. But the vital thing to grasp is that these cartridges aren't all the same, not even close. They vary a lot. Needle type, configuration, that's how the needles are grouped, thickness, arrangement. All these little variations directly impact the final result you get.
It sounds like that protective membrane, that little piece inside, is actually a pretty big deal then, more than just protecting the machine. What's the deeper insight there?
That's a great point because many artists might just see it and think, oh, yeah, it keeps my machine clean. And it does. It prevents pigment backflow, helps equipment last longer.
Right.
But the real game changer, the absolute non-negotiable for safety, is its role as a biological barrier, a complete one. So it's literally the firewall stopping pigment or even potentially blood from flowing back into the handpiece.
Yeah.
That means zero chance of cross-contamination between clients.
Yeah.
Think about the implications otherwise.
Yeah.
Legally, ethically.
Huge.
Exactly.
Okay.
That tiny membrane is the silent hero of hygiene.
Yeah.
Gives peace of mind. And then, looking at the configurations, again, they're not just aesthetic choices. A specific grouping, a taper, the arrangement, it's all fundamentally functional.
Yeah.
Designed for very distinct artistic effects.
That functional distinction is key. So if configuration drives function, what are the main types artists need to be familiar with? How do they differ in practice?
Excellent question. Let's break down the main players. First up, you've got RL round liner.
Yep.
These have tightly grouped needles. Think precision. They're your go-to for crisp outlines, super fine lines, those delicate hair strokes and brow work, really defined stuff.
Got it. Liners for lines.
Exactly. Then there are RS, round shaders. The name gives it away, right?
Mm-hmm.
These have a looser needle arrangement.
Looser, how does that help?
Well, that looseness allows for smooth, even shading and quicker filling of larger areas, indispensable for things like powder brows or maybe a lip blush.
Makes sense.
Next, FL, or flat cartridges. Needles in a straight line. These are both suited for achieving soft, almost transparent shading effects, a different kind of diffusion.
Interesting.
And finally, MG Magnum cartridges. These usually have 2 rows of needles, often staggered. Perfect for packing in color, getting bold pigment saturation, and creating those really captivating 3D effects.
Wow. Okay, so RL, RS, FL, MG.
Yeah.
Different tools for different jobs.
So for someone starting out or maybe trying a new technique,
Mm-hmm.
how does knowing this actually change what they pick up? What's the immediate aha moment? That's really where the art starts connecting with the science, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The aha is realizing the needle configuration isn't just tech specs on a box. It directly determines the artistic outcome.
Right.
So say you want those individual eyebrow hair strokes,
Mm.
super crisp. You need the tightly grouped needles of an RL for that definition. Try using an RL for large area shading.
Patchy.
Exactly. Patchy, uneven, nightmare. Conversely, an RS, with its looser needles, excels at smooth blends. It just flows better for that purpose. It's like a painter choosing brushes, you know.
Yeah.
You wouldn't use a huge house painting brush for tiny details.
Good analogy. And that ties perfectly into the next challenge, right? Because just knowing the types isn't enough. You have to consider the specific technique and maybe even more importantly, the client themselves. How do those factors play in?
Oh, massively. These are non-negotiable factors if you're aiming for top-tier results and, well, just being professional. Your technique is paramount, obviously. Sharp lines need a different tool than soft powder shading. Then there's the client's skin type. This is a big one. Sensitive skin, for example, really benefits from a specific needle taper. A gentler point means less trauma, smoother healing. Ignoring this, that can lead to discomfort, poor retention. It's a common oversight.
I can see that.
And of course, the treatment area itself. A cartridge that works beautifully for lip blush, needing that saturation and soft touch, might not be the best choice for delicate brows or the super thin skin on eyelids.
Right, different canvases.
Precisely. The correct choice doesn't just make the art look better, it genuinely improves your workflow. More efficient pigment delivery, less stress on the skin. And this personalized approach, it consistently leads to better outcomes, and honestly, it builds huge client trust.
So with all these variables, it begs the question, what really defines a high-quality PMU cartridge? Beyond just the type, how do you spot the good ones?
That's where you need some clear quality criteria, sort of a checklist in your mind. Based on what experts generally agree on, there are several must-haves.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, that full membrane barrier. Essential. We covered why safety, hygiene, complete seal.
Non-negotiable. Got it.
Second, the housing should be medical-grade plastic. Ensures durability, sterility, no contaminants leaching out.
Right.
Third, the needles. Surgical steel. Not just any metal. This is important.
Why surgical steel specifically?
We'll touch on that.
Right.
Fourth, you need sharp, securely mounted needles. No wobble, no flex. They shouldn't dull halfway through. Precision relies on this.
Makes sense.
And finally, stable pigment flow. The cartridge needs to deliver pigment consistently. No spitting, no clogging, predictable flow.
Okay, so back to the surgical steel. You said it's important. Is it just about sharpness or is there more? And at the stable flow, how does that directly help the artist and client?
Good questions. Surgical steel is chosen not just for sharpness and durability, though that's part of it. It's crucial because it significantly reduces allergy risks for the client, minimizes adverse reactions. It's a subtle but vital safety aspect.
Ah, okay. Didn't think about allergies.
And stable pigment flow. That's huge for the artist's control.
Yeah.
Imagine painting with a brush that just randomly drips globs of paint. Chaos, right?
Total mess.
Stable flow means consistent pigment delivery with every single pass. That leads to more even results, less guesswork, and importantly, often a shorter procedure time for the client. Less time in the chair, less irritation. It all ties back to safety, precision, efficiency. That's professional work.
And speaking of safety and professionalism, let's talk about something that's really become standard practice, thankfully, the power of disposable cartridges. Why are they so critical, beyond just being convenient?
Oh, their importance really can't be overstated. Convenience is nice, sure. But disposable PMU cartridges are absolutely paramount for safety, full stop.
How so?
They just immediately eliminate the risk of cross-infection, period. There's no maybe, no chance for error if you use a fresh one every time. This keeps you compliant with even the strictest hygiene regulations, which is essential.
Peace of mind again.
Exactly. And practically. They save so much time. No sterilizing needles between clients. You can focus on your art. Plus, they boost client comfort knowing they get a fresh, sterile needle every single time. That builds incredible trust.
Yeah, I can see that.
And maybe less obvious, but equally important, consistency. You get predictable results because you're always starting with a pristine, factory-perfect tool. Consistent quality, client after client.
That consistency sounds like a massive advantage. Now, even with the best tools, mistakes can happen, especially when choosing them. Recognizing common pitfalls is a learning opportunity, right? What are some frequent errors artists make with cartridges?
Yes, absolutely. And knowing these can save a lot of frustration and save your clients discomfort. One common error is simply choosing the wrong configuration for the area.
Like using a big one for a small spot.
Exactly. Using a cartridge that's just too large for a delicate zone, say the inner corner of the eye, leads to imprecise work, unnecessary trauma. Another big one is ignoring the client's skin type. Like we said, sensitive skin needs that specific taper. Forgetting that leads to irritation, maybe poor healing.
Right, the taper.
Then there's device compatibility. Sounds basic, but not all cartridges fit all machines. Failing to check can mean it just doesn't work mid-procedure Or worse, it could damage your expensive machine.
Ouch.
And finally, a really significant pitfall, buying from unreliable brands, cheap knockoffs. This can mean poor pigment delivery, inconsistent results, way too much skin irritation for the client, or even needles that aren't actually sterile. Scary stuff.
That is scary. So what are the real consequences then if someone makes these mistakes? Beyond just a slightly off result. And how can artists proactively avoid them?
The consequences go way beyond just aesthetics. They really impact client comfort, potentially more pain, prolonged redness, poor pigment retention because of that extra trauma. Poor pigment delivery means you have to make more passes over the skin. More passes equal more irritation, a longer procedure, and often a less satisfying, maybe faded result for the client long term.
Right. It compounds.
It really does. The bigger picture is that your tools must match your technique, your style, and crucially, your client's specific skin needs. It's a holistic choice. It affects the whole procedure, the final look, and ultimately that client trust we talked about.
So how to avoid it?
Proactively. Always double-check machine compatibility. Meticulously assess your client's skin before you even pick up a cartridge. And source your cartridges only from reputable, trusted manufacturers. Don't cut corners on quality or safety.
Excellent practical advice there. So to make all this theory a bit more concrete, let's look at some real-world examples. You mentioned the Quadrant Optima series earlier. They're often endorsed by experts. Let's use them to illustrate these quality principles. First, the classic Quadrant Optima. What's the story there? The all-rounder.
Yeah, the Quadrant Optima series is a great example, really a benchmark. The classic Optima line is known for being that versatile workhorse. Precision across a huge range of techniques, from daily stuff to more advanced work.
Versatile how?
Well, it gives artists tons of flexibility because it comes in a really wide selection of needle sizes and types. RL, RS, MG, FL, they've got them all. And importantly, every cartridge is built with that medical-grade housing, the full protective membrane we stressed.
These essentials.
Exactly. And surgical steel needles, of course. It's just a reliable, high-quality option for artists who need consistency day in, day out.
Okay, makes sense. And then for those more delicate techniques, I've heard about the Quadrant Optima Gold. What makes that one special for things like ombre brows or lip blush?
The Optima Gold. This is a perfect example of targeted design. It was specifically developed for those softer, more delicate techniques: ombre brows, blush lips, powder shading.
What's different about it?
Its standout feature is something Quadrant calls Soft Pro technology. Now, that's not just jargon. It refers to a unique internal build and needle configuration designed for incredibly even, gentle pigment application.
Gentle.
Imagine a softer kiss on the skin with each needle penetration, less invasive. This minimizes trauma, reduces redness during the procedure, and can significantly speed up healing afterwards. It directly relates back to choosing the right approach for sensitive areas or skin types. It's about minimal impact, maximum blend.
I see. So that Soft Pro tech really links back to minimizing trauma.
Precisely. Built for artists who prioritize that gentle touch and seamless result.
And then there's one more in that line, the Quadrant Optima Plus. This one sounds intense for demanding techniques needing maximum control. It boasts 6+1 technology. Sounds very technical. What does that actually do for an artist trying to nail, say, a difficult hair stroke?
The Optima Plus is definitely engineered for precision. That 6+1 technology is quite clever. Imagine 6 points of contact inside the cartridge, meticulously stabilizing the needle laterally, sideways movement, virtually eliminated.
Okay, so super stable.
Super stable. And the PO+1, that's a central guide, ensuring the needle path is absolutely true, straight in, straight out, driving the pigment exactly where you aim it.
Wow.
So when you're doing a hyper-realistic hair stroke, that line goes exactly where you intend, every single time. Unparalleled consistency. This makes the Optima Plus ideal for really intricate work: hair strokes, hybrid brows, detailed eyeliner, sharp lip contours, even medical pigmentation where precision is paramount. It's built tough, ensures optimal pigment flow, and really meets the needs of advanced artists demanding that surgical level of control.
Okay, that breakdown of the quadrant lines really helps illustrate how different designs meet different needs. So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the artist listening? Ultimately, these professional PMU cartridges, they're just so much more than tools, aren't they? They fundamentally impact your work quality and maybe even more importantly, your client's safety and their overall satisfaction. Whether you're aiming for bold lines, soft ombre, realistic hair strokes, the right tools are the absolute foundation. But remember, and this is key, success also really hinges on tailoring your approach. Technique, client skin, your own style. They all demand the right cartridge setup.
Precisely. And I'd encourage everyone listening to view cartridge selection not as, a one-time choice you make and stick with forever. Think of it as an ongoing process. Learning, experimenting.
Good point.
Build on what we've talked about today. Actively discover which setups truly support your unique way of working. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Consider how the technology itself is always evolving. These cartridges are getting more sophisticated all the time.
Sure.
How will staying informed, staying adaptable to these advancements, how will that allow you to push your own boundaries, refine your craft even further, provide even more exceptional results? It's really a continuous journey, isn't it? This pursuit of perfection in PMU.